Hi guys, Michelle here from Andalere Gardens. Today I want to get these patios covered better. Well, when we're standing from this side, I don't want to see the patios. When we come from this side of the garden, I don't want the patios to be visible. I realize those agave will in time, they will grow a little bit bigger and then it will kind of cover the patios. But this one, yeah, on these few patios, we've got a geranium here. It gets like a soft sort of a peachy pink flower. Now, I stuck these in as a lot of cuttings and a couple of them were actual plants, but they sort of tend to go very ugly and sticky in the winter time, and then you are seeing those patios which I'm not feeling. It's not talking to me. So I'm wanting to get something else. We've got a techomeria in another section of a garden which I need to move to open up space there, and then I thought I would bring that here because that never loses its leaves. You can keep it clipped. So I thought I could make like a little hedge that would run alongside these patios, so that when you walk up the path, it would kind of be a little techomeria. It gets like a deep orange flower hedge just behind the patios, and then you'd have this hedge of the Dinella up the other side of the path. So that is sort of the job that I want to tackle today, and then I will go and show you the techomeria so you can see what we're going to be putting here. Okay, so these are the techomeria. They can grow quite big. They sort of a bit of a pest. They seed themselves everywhere, but they make a very nice hedge if one keeps them clipped. So yes, you can see that kind of height if I let them grow a little bit bigger and just keep them clipped so that they're nice and dense and tight. That will make a nice hedge, sufficient enough just to cover the patios from view when you come up the one side. Okay, so this is another plant that I'd also like to get moved. Also, this is quite a tough ground cover. Spreads very quickly, seeds itself all over the show. This is not something I planted here. This just popped up here. This is Asostasia. It is an indigenous ground cover. It gets little white flowers like a foxglove. Well, looks like a foxglove. So there's one there and there's another one here, and then there's quite a lot underneath this confetti bush. Let's get you from a better angle. Yeah, there's some Bolleria there too, which needs to move away. So I was playing with the idea of leaving that underneath here, but I think I'm going to put something else that gets a more vibrant flower underneath. Yeah, some of the Carpobrotus, I'm going to put that here. So I'm wanting to move the Asostasia to a different area. Don't know if there's any more here. So yes, we'll keep this area strictly confetti bushes which seed themselves. Here's a It's a little baby. There's more. Those a lot more. These grasses I will be moving. So I'm going to put another ground cover that gets like a neon, almost purpley pinky flower, like an ice flower kind of thing, but like a much bigger one. So that will be going, yeah, and these grasses will be moving as well. So let me show you where we're going to be putting the acastacia, and then as I find little seedlings of that, I will just dig that up and move that to the other place as well. So this is the currently very untidy pool garden, which down the line I'd like to keep this in yellows and whites and greys, but more along the line of chartreuse coloured foliage and grey foliage plants. I'll leave the few green ones that are, yeah, like that green confetti bush. I'll be leaving those and just keeping them clipped. So it'll be a very structural garden. But the acastacia, I'm wanting to let the acastacia cover the ground cover between all the shrubs. So you can see it's here, but it looks very sad from the winter, and plus it's been overgrown. So we do need to maybe cut it back and let it sprout out nice and fresh again. So the whole idea is to have this whole area, yeah, covered with the acastacia. There is lots of it here already, which we brought here quite some time ago, and it is growing, but there is a couple of areas that we need to fill in. Obviously we'll see better when we've weeded, but the area where I want to put those are ones is over here underneath this yellow banksia rose. This area we cleared out a little while ago, but I do need to pull out those nasturtiums, as they are obviously like a bright orange, which we're not wanting here. So the ground cover will just be this white foxglovey ground cover, and then yellows and whites. So the idea is to just dig up some of this grass to get it away and clear a couple of spots out so we can let the acastacia do its thing here. Yeah, are a few more things that I want to move. I want to move these succulents. These are crassula. I'm not sure what kind of crassula, maybe like a sunset. I want to move them into the succulent area, and I want to move these little bluey colored ones also into the succulent area. Reason I'm wanting to move these two is that I feel like I'm wanting to simplify this area more than what it is. So basically I want to move, that's a flowering quince, shame, and that was moved not so long ago, but I want to relocate that to here where these are, and then just shift the Mayflower up, because I've put the Mayflowers, it's a spirea, it's not looking very happy, but maybe if we feed it, it will grow nicely. Those are big ones, they grow about 1.5 meters, so I've positioned them way too close together. So I'm wanting to shift them a little bit further apart, and then in the front here is bulbinella. This is also a medicinal plant that you can also use for, like, if a bee stings you or you have a cut or whatever the case is. Again, you can break the leaf off and put it on your cut or on the insect bite. This is also a good plant to have, like, say, outside your kitchen door, that you can like, if you burn yourself, then you go outside and you just break off a leaf and you put it on your burn. So, but I do have another one. This one gets a little orange and yellow flower, quite pretty. And I've got another one that's yellow that I'm wanting to use outside the front door. So basically these are little pieces that I just stuck in, and they're looking fairly perky. So I'm wanting to extend that bulbinella along the whole front span, running up to here where these little blue succulents end. Then that will just simplify it, and then bring those two. These are smaller spirea, smaller mayflowers. They will grow about a half a meter or so. I didn't realize when planting them here that these were small ones and these were big ones, until my mom said, no, this is small ones. So I'm going to move the small ones to in front of the big ones over there. So they should fill the space up then, like, perfectly. And then I have a ratia, which is a ratia fruticosa, which is an indigenous shrub, which gets like a sort of an orangey flower, deep orangey flower with a little sort of a black spot on it. I want to plant that. Yeah, that can grow fairly big, so that should hopefully sort of block the view as we from this side through to the other side of the garden, so that the garden always remains an element of surprise. When you're standing in one spot, you don't want to see the whole garden, because then there's no excitement in what more is there to see. You've seen everything in one shot. There's and that's an aloe vera. I want to move that aloe vera to at the end by the mayflower, somewhere about over there. Running along there, I'm going to have like a pathway more just for me to access, so that I can access the citrus tree over there that looks very sad, and then there's another citrus tree that's a lemon tree. That's the only one that looks perky, but I'm not very good because I haven't been tending to them as I should do. So there's a pathway that comes around that flax, and then it'll just come to there and to there. So I figured if I put the aloe vera just right here in front, everything that we need to access for medicinal purposes or edible purposes is close to the front. So yes, there's possible rain coming again, and we're hoping and holding thumbs that it's going to be a bit more than the last rain. So if I can get this moved today, then a supplemental rain will help just to settle things in as well. It's quite an overcast day today, so it's a good day to move these. So I will just be wetting them well so that I can move them with as much soil around them as possible. Okay, so we have some more grasses which I want to move. I don't know if it's a wise idea, but I'm going to chance it because it is in an area where I want to spray, but there is a little bit of the area where it's sort of clear from the grass that I want to spray. So I'm going to chance it and just pack these grasses dense on top of one another. That's the one in the background there that I've already dug out 2 or 3. So there's this bundle. I will see if I can fit all the bundles in on the other side, but there's quite a number here, so I don't know if I will. If I get these grasses away, then I know that this area is kind of complete once we've got the Carpobrotus ground cover down here. Then it'll just be the ground cover and all the little confetti bush seedlings. So I'm going to be moving these as well, and hopefully God will bless us with lots of rain in the next 2 days to come. Okay, I think we're all done for the day. It's getting dark. It's looking quite overcast, so it's looking quite promising for some rain. So at least this will help to settle these in. So there were some here already, and then I packed them really jam-packed, chock-a-block full. You can see there's a lot of grass there that I need to spray because the roots just snap off if you try to get them out. So I just packed them all really, really tight, which is maybe better as it will smother the weeds a bit better. So that's the one thing we got done today. Other things we've got moved today is the Japanese flowering quinces. That's these little ones here. I've given them lots of water. I also put a bit of fertilizer around them. So pray that God looks after them, sends us rain. May they grow big and strong, and may I not move things around again. Okay, there's the aloe vera. I did that in like sort of 3 little clumps. And there's the Ratia fruticosa. I think it's Ratia. I must just double check on that. Its common name is a jammy mouth. That'll grow about like 2 meters by 2 meters. So I've left sufficient space around. Yes, I've got bare ground. That is why I'm hoping that these are the bulbinella that I just broke. Okay, well, I cut off a whole lot of pieces off of the other ones there, and then I'm just going to leave them to dry off and harden up a bit, and then I will stick them in next week. I did put a bit of fertilizer around in the area where they're going to be planted, which will hopefully help with root development and that kind of thing. I did move the spirea, the Mayflower, up a little bit just to give it more room. That'll grow about 1.5 meters by 1.5 meters. And then there's the 2 babies. So that turned out quite well. I'm happy with this area. It feels like it'll be more simplified, not too many varieties of plants. And then also when the Mayflowers and the Ratia is bigger, it will block off the back of the garden there to the section behind, which is what I'm wanting. And then here is the the Tecumseh, the orange Tecumseh, or honeysuckle, Cape honeysuckle. It's indigenous to South Africa. I've made a row of these all along here. I will have to keep it clipped and tend to it because it can become a bit wild. So there's plenty more. So when I extend this pathway a little bit further, sort of to accommodate one more patio or maybe more, I don't like this weird little triangle. So I want to just bring the bed out to accommodate one more, and then we can also put some more pretty bulbs in there. And then last thing I need to show you is the little white ground cover, the Assistacia. The Assistacia, yeah, this is a tricky business. Yeah, this whole area I need to just take underhand. There was wisteria in here, which I'm gonna need to remove, but I did want to transplant it. This is the wisteria, yeah, and there in the background there's lots of wisteria. They're beautiful, but quite a pest. So there were lots of pavers. There's quite a number of pavers, so I'm quite pleased about that. We might be able to use that somewhere. But I don't know if there is more pavers in here, because as you can see, this whole section is just a jumble. So I put the Assistacia in as best as I could in some spots that were relatively clear. There's also asparagus fern here, which also tends to take over. So I need to maybe spray with poison or something to get those out, and possibly the wisteria, because I think their root system runs very deep, and I'm a bit concerned we're going to have a bit of a struggle. But all in all, we got a lot of things moved, and yes, I'm quite pleased. Things feel like they are coming together nicely. Now that all the excess grasses are gone and we've got a much clearer picture, I think it's good that those grasses are gone, because matters already feel a lot more simplified, but it does feel very open at the moment, and these confettis will take a long time to grow. Well, not that long, they are fairly quick, but I have got some bigger ones in the pine forest by the labyrinth area, so I might potentially just dig up maybe 2 or 3 just to fill in this area a little bit quicker, as I think it'll just look a bit nicer. Maybe I'm just an impatient Sue, but yes, that'll just block off the back of the garden, the other side of the garden, which is going to be a quicker affair than waiting for these to grow. We will need to get another 2, I think 2, maybe 1 or 2 more red roosters. I like the touch of brown. These are small now, but I think when they're bigger, it will just finish this area off nicely and make it like a real little alcove. So I'll have to get to the garden center at some stage so we can just finish off this little section. Okay, so that's all done. We're done for the day. I am not going to cut these back. I'm going to see how they go. If I see they are struggling a bit, then maybe I will nip off the tops a bit. Maybe I should even nip off the tops. They had quite a big, very shallow root system. I think it's because they were just in the pine forest and they were very much sitting on the surface. So I did get a big mat of soil, probably about maybe 2.5 centimeters thick. I've put rocks down on them so the wind doesn't blow them away, rather than putting in a stake. So hopefully the rocks will work. So we're all done for the day, and I'm quite pleased. We achieved quite a bit today.